one and all. It is I, the Family Car Guy, and today what I want to talk about is what sports sedan would I get if I only had somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's just say, 10 to 15K. What kind of sports sedan would I get? What I think is on the market that I would be interested in. This is in no particular order, but let's get started. So for me, one sedan that comes to mind immediately is the BMW 550i. You stay out of M5 territory because now you're in the low 20s, low to mid 20s. It's going to be very, very difficult to find an M5 with a manual transmission of the E60 variety. It's a lot easier to find a 550, and if you're okay with it, even an older 545. The 550 comes with a 360 horsepower V8 that also puts out 360 pound-feet of torque. Comes with the 6-speed automatic, or if you can find it, the 6-speed manual, which is what I would get. If you can get the M package, which is makes it effectively look like an M5, you just don't get the dual exhaust in the back. It's a great car. If you can get it loaded with all the options, the heated seats, you can get it with, I think it comes even with air-conditioned seats as well. The navigation, I mean, iDrive, I mean, you either love it or hate it, but there it is. You have navigation, Bluetooth, reverse camera, all that. Great car. A car that probably would be towards the top of my list if I was looking for a sedan in that price range today. Definitely 6-speed, definitely black. I would try to get one with the M5 wheels, and I just think those look really, really nice. So that's number one. Another car I'd be looking at, and it's actually really two cars, but it depends on what you can find in your price range. That would be the Mercedes E55 AMG. I believe they started making them in 03. I have to look this up at the end of the video. But E55 AMG, putting out 469 horsepower, 5-speed automatic. I believe it was like 507 pounds-feet of torque. Anyway, I got to look that up too. But ultimately, just an absolute monster. 0 to 60 in high 3s, low 4s. Definitely, there's an aftermarket following for those. A couple of years later, they brought out the E63 AMG, and that particular car had the 7-speed automatic. Now, the 7-speed, obviously you have more gears, but it couldn't deal with as much torque, from what I understand. So, but it was a quick car, and you can find both of those cars. If you do some research, you can find them below 15K. And then, of course, you're driving a Mercedes, so you get all the luxury bells and whistles as well. Finding one with low miles is probably going to be a challenge. I haven't seen too many with low miles, at least not under 15K, but a car that definitely is a performance deal nowadays. There are a couple of YouTubers who have some E55s that I really like, and that's kind of what I'd be doing to look at maintenance. They've got some sheets on how to maintain these cars for a lot less than what you would pay if you just went to a BMW or a Mercedes dealership. That's another car I'd be looking at. Another car that I would be looking at, and this is just because I'm an Infiniti, I really like Infinitis. I would definitely take a look at an Infiniti G35 or a G37. For me, I'd be looking at a G35 potentially just because this is talking about 2007. So in 2006 there was the old body style. In 2007 they came to the more modern body style. All the way up until I think it was 2014. 2014 they replaced the G37, which actually turned into the Q40, with what is now the Q50. So in 2008, I think that was the last year of the G35, and then in 2009 they came out with the G37. You can get the G35 with a 306 horsepower V6, Infiniti/Nissan's VQ motor, 306 horsepower, 268 pound-feet of torque, I believe it was. You can get the G35 Sport in a 6-speed manual. The clutch was not an incredible strong suit, but it was still I've driven a few of them both in coupe and sedan form, and I've also had a few Infinitis, but the G35 I had was an automatic, but the ones I drove in manual form were definitely quick, nice cars. And you can definitely find those below 15K, and if you're looking at G35s, definitely below 10K, if you look hard enough. So it's going to be difficult again to find those with low miles. They're getting up there in age now, but definitely affordable cars. And you get Infiniti reliability. I mean, for me, I've had multiple Infinitis, and with that VQ motor, no issues whatsoever. I had one issue. I'm trying to remember exactly what the sensor was. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, I had an issue with a particular sensor that had to do with the timing. I don't know why, I can't think of it right now. But anyway, bottom line is the car would cut off. And it was like a $200 part. So it was really annoying because you'd be driving and the car would be fine and all of a sudden the car would just shut off on you. I think it was like the timing cam sensor or something, like camshaft position sensor. I think that's what it was. Anyway, really annoying. But that was really the only issue I had with my G35. Other than that car was rock solid. So that would be a car that I would look at as well. Another car that I might look at if, I prefer the 5 Series, but I might look at a 2006 BMW 330i or 330xi. Those cars put out 255 horsepower, 255 pound-feet of torque. I would definitely get the 6-speed if I was concerned about the weather, which I'm really not. I would go with the XI as well. That's not a bad choice either. But ultimately, nice handling car, a car that you can autocross, a car that you can, throw some bolt-ons on. It's not a car that's incredibly difficult to work on, even though it's a BMW. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you got to remove to get to the motor, but working on the motor, since it's an inline 6, is actually not that bad. I actually have a buddy who just got one. He got an XI 2006, and it hasn't been real difficult to work on. We just changed out all the spark plugs recently. So yeah, that would be a car that I would look at as well. So those are the cars that will be on my short list. I'm sure there's more out there. Those are the cars that I kind of looked at when I was thinking about getting a sedan before I ended up getting the C4. But definitely in the comments, let me know what other cars that you think would fit in this criteria. A sporty sedan for 5 to 15K. One car that, if I was not worried about the timing chain issues, I would be looking at an Audi S4. I like those cars. They're a little heavy, but I definitely like the way they handle. Their all-wheel drive system is performance oriented, but the timing chain on the V6 S4 was kind of a joke. Not in terms of its reliability, the chain itself, but all the tensioners and everything that surrounded it. And Audi decided in their brilliance to put it at the back of the motor. So in order to change out the tensioners and all the sensors and things that go along with the timing chain itself, you basically had to pull out the motor. So we're talking like $8,000 at the Audi dealership, which is ridiculous. I mean, if you're gonna pay $10,000 for a car, then you gotta immediately turn around and shell out $8,000 to replace timing chain components. That's just ridiculous. So unfortunately, that car didn't make the cut, but that would be a car I would look at if I didn't have that issue, because I have driven one and I did enjoy it. You had a 340 horsepower V8, all-wheel drive, 6-speed manual. So unfortunately, that car didn't make the cut. But that's what I've got for my list. Thanks for watching, and until next time, everybody have a blessed day. Later.